Welcome back, and joining me with his analysis of what's played itself out on the market scene today is Pheiffer from Sasfin Wealth. Thank you so much for your time, Craig. I just went through those market boards and it is quite a mixed picture. How important is this week for portfolio positioning and management?
Oh, this is a big week. You're certainly not going to have nothing to talk about on your show this week. We've got a lot of S&P 500 companies reporting this week, including 5 of those big 7, starting with Alphabet later today. Then we've got Meta and Microsoft tomorrow, and then Amazon and Apple on Thursday. So no shortage of really key information coming from that front. But even outside of markets, there's a lot on the economic front out of the US, and this is all ahead of the week ahead of the elections. But we've got US Q3 GDP tomorrow. We've got the PCE deflator, key inflation measure on Thursday. Thursday, and then Friday is the monthly jobs data. So really, some big numbers that be a highlight if it was just one of those each in the week. So lots of news coming for us to digest.
Yeah, and market participants really hoping for Goldilocks data there, but we'll see if we'll actually get to that position. You talk about 5 of the mega caps, the tech stocks coming out with results today. Is there any kind of nervousness in the market about what we could see considering the valuations that we have seen in these companies?
I think that is one concern. We've seen previously that companies that beat on top line revenue, they beat on expectations for bottom line earnings, and some of them even have good positive outlooks for the next quarter or for the full year. But it's just a little shy of market expectations. And then, as you say, given those high valuations, the market just takes a bit of a step back, and those shares get knocked a little bit on the day, or even a lot on the day. So there's a lot built into expectations, not just for this quarter, but for the quarters to come. So there's absolutely no room for disappointment from any of them.
Yeah, well, talking about disappointment, Vodacom and Remgro are disappointed. Of course, the Competition Tribunal has blocked the acquisition of Vodacom's 30% stake in Massive. They haven't really given out detailed reasons as yet, but it was quite interesting to see the share price movements. Vodacom was down just over 1%, but Remgro was the one that really took a punishment today with that stock slumping more than 5%. What have you made of this decision?
Well, I think a company like Remgro, it is an industrial holding company. Their task is about making deals and looking for growth, trying to grow their net asset value over the longer term. So this was, one of those plans. We haven't seen too many plans coming from Remgro. I think the market wants to see activity, see the picture going forward, the strategy going forward. And this was a deal that was on the table, and now it's scuppered. So it's back to the drawing board. And as you mentioned, there's no explanation just yet. So I don't know if there's anything to fix or do that might see some kind of altered form of the deal still happen. But it's a disappointment for a company that makes deals, trying to grow net asset value. This is a bit of a negative, a bit of a setback.
Well, something that's on the other side of the spectrum that doesn't seem to disappoint at any point is Shoprite. They released a voluntary operational update today for the first quarter of FY25, posting a double-digit growth in their group sales. Looking like another great period for Shoprite.
A very good set of results, and I think particularly on the local front, as you mentioned, the supermarkets on the South African side, growing earnings over 11% in the quarter. Maybe it's all of us buying at Checkers to get all of those little shopping goodies to complete our collection. But you just have to look around the streets. Those 60 guys are flying everywhere. I think it's been a positive story in terms of growing market share. We've seen from these results, continuing to add stores, big focus on the local supermarket side. So I think a good story, and probably just ahead of what the market was expecting, particularly on the South African supermarket side. So yes, we saw the share up again today, over 300 Rand. and just a positive story where, you're looking at a Pick n Pay, which is pretty much on the back foot still, and could be for a very long time.
Yeah, Shoprite continuing to be a winner there. Talking about winners, Craig, what are you pegging your hopes on in terms of being a winner, your stock pick for today?
One of my favorite stocks is a company called TransDigm. It's a holding company. They buy businesses that manufacture proprietary equipment for commercial aeroplanes, defense aeroplanes. In that high regulatory environment, you've got to make sure that you build stuff to the right standard. So there's a bit of a moat around the company. They've got barriers to entry into that space, but they make all kinds of things. They own companies that make all kinds of parts for airplanes, from valves and ignition systems, batteries, even the upholstery, to the carpets, to the seat belts, to the lighting, to all sorts of aviation goodies and gadgets. And as I say, they've got the proprietary technology for those particular instruments. They get put into new planes, and then also with maintenance they get replaced as well. So it's a good way to play the aviation story, the pickup in global travel, without particularly buying something like a Boeing or an Airbus, which may have their own particular challenges, as we know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your analysis on what has moved investors' money today, Craig. That was Craig Pheiffer from Sasfin Wealth.